What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode review series for the new season of of Rising of the Shield Hero. This is season 4, and with me as always, I have Blue Spade.
Um, so
Yeah, so yeah, if we remember, like season 3, like ended on I guess somewhat of a cliffhanger where Naofumi was going to go to the demi-human capital of Siltvelt, because there were some like assassins that were trying to go after Raftalia for wearing some Miko outfit that apparently is I forget what it was. Like it
no,
was
so
it's
it's like they view it. Okay, so the assassins who saw Raftalia put on the Miko outfit view it as as a declaration of war to contest for the throne. As we
Mhm.
found out is from Sedina, well, who's Raphtalia's guardian, reveals that she and her family are descendants of the royal family of a demi-human country called Kutenlo. Um, so what happens? What happened? Of course, like they end up fighting off the assassins, and now Fumi decides to head over to the city. Well, partially, yeah, head over to the city of Zeltveld before taking along everybody else, because the way it works is like he takes himself there so he can he can put in a save point there for him to transport himself and everybody else alongside with them. So the episode starts us off which now Fumi is able to reach near the borders of Siltveld, but at the same time, I think I think it was Melty and Philo. All of a sudden, they somehow followed him all the way over there. Thanks
well,
to
apparently I think they were already
they were
there.
already there,
It's
but
like Vittoria told them to meet him there.
yeah, and and of course now she communicates this to Vittoria uh, by telling her like that. Of course, now Fumi um, brought in like all the cardinal heroes, like the sword, spear, and the bow hero all together. So it pretty much it convinces Victoria to stay her hand and wanting to eliminate the other four heroes because they haven't been working together for the first two seasons. So now
Well, yeah, I mean, and then they're finally together, I guess, in this season. But it seems like once again they're being sidelined because I mean, so far it seems that way because like now Fumi just tells them like, essentially like later on in the episode, like when they show up, like we don't really need you right now, and you can like,
the reason because is like they're still afflicted by their curses, uh, that
yeah,
happened to them
well,
in the last
and then they
season.
have and then I think yeah, now Fumi told Moriyasu to go. I forget, he told him to go do something in like last season, and like Moriyasu was just kind of going around, helping people or defeating like
Okay, so
who he considers like bad guys or something. Or
okay, so it's a bit odd for Moriyasu in particular because as we know, he has a hit on for Philo. Uh,
yeah,
so he has this like weird, I don't know, he has this weird obsession with Philo in a way, almost like a one-sided romantic relationship with Philo, which Philo does not approve of at all. She
mhm.
like every time she comes across Moriyasu ever since season 3, she just runs away from him. So now Moriyasu, he has like three other Philolial birds alongside with him, and basically what he's doing, he's protecting the border of Naofumi's village after the assassins attacked you know at the end of the last season. So he's pretty much just guarding
Mhm.
the town. But it's just it's just this behavior saying like that he's saying Naofumi is his father and he's looking for his approval. It's just weird. Like he's not the most
Yeah,
mentally sound of the compared to the other two that are staying in the village.
yeah. I I don't know. It's just like I feel like the direction those characters went in this series has just been really weird. Like they just they never really seem to have much relevance to what's happening in the plot, and when they do show up, it's it just seems more so as more of like an annoyance or a distraction. That they just don't really have much. It just doesn't really feel like they have much to do. Season one, it like their role is basically to be like more so antagonistic towards Naofumi because of like him being out an outcast, and after that it just felt like same with Naofumi almost to an extent. Like it felt like they just had nowhere to go after that.
Yeah, and like they were just like almost nearly nowhere to be seen in season 2. Then they brought them back for season 3, pretty much to give them some kind of redemption story arc, which it's a bit of a mixed bag of where it went in terms of their storylines. I mean, well, of course, Ren and Itsuki, like they kind of got their issues settled, but I don't know about Motoyasu in particular, just because like he's a bit off his knocker from what I can tell after I mean, obviously, like I don't know if it has something to do with like Malty betraying him at the time. I mean, obviously that has to be the reason. I mean, he kept her on after she was convicted of being a liar, and of course, like convicted of trying to kill her sister too. So there's that. But yeah. So anyway, go back to. So back to Siltvelt. Naofumi brings everybody along, and of course Naofumi, because of his status as a shield hero, he's pretty much being already been given like a hero's welcome in particular, because the people of Siltvelt treat the shield hero as some kind of like deity or some kind of god, and obviously like the people in charge there, I think like the higher up demi-humans. I think one of them is like a bird-like demi-human. He calls himself Werner. He pretty much him and like a couple others like already set up like a big throne for Naofumi, and they also set up like a feast for them to celebrate his arrival. But of course, Naofumi doesn't want all of this, because he's trying to he's there because he wants transportation to get to Kyutenlo. And of course, there's also the issue with the whole Phoenix Beast that's been hyped up since the beginning of season 3. But of course, like the higher ups of Siltvelt like urges him to like stay at least up until like I guess the celebration, because the people of according to them, the people of Siltvelt will view this as some kind of affront to them, and they'll end up being riots in the street or whatnot. So it's like, so now Fumi just pretty much reluctantly accepts their terms, at least for right now. But he still feels like he needs to get to, Kyutenlo to pretty much like settle like whatever issues there is with Raftalia and such.
Yeah, well, and of course, right after this meeting he has with the I guess the like some of the other demi-humans, he comes across like a lion demi-human. I forget what his name is. But he basically offers Naofumi like transportation, like a ship that will take him to Kyutenlo. And Naofumi, like, Naofumi agrees to this. But it does seem like there probably is some, I'm guessing, some like ulterior motive or something there. Because before Naofumi meets with the lion demi-human, we briefly see like somebody who's listening in, maybe like a spy or something. So there's definitely something. I mean, well, actually, before this too, there was another brief scene with a fox woman meeting with someone we don't really know who yet, and I'm assuming this is probably like the assassins that were sent after. They're probably aligned with those assassins that were sent after Raftalia. But yeah, we see them, and obviously they're going to be important. I'm guessing, but. Yeah, after this, that's kind of like where things end off to an extent. I mean, Naofumi says like, well, I guess we'll have to see how things play out from here. Essentially, as more or less the end of the episode, It was a fairly slow episode, to be honest. Like, it's a lot of it was just sort of, I guess, setup and establishing this new the Siltveld and how people, like, I guess, worship Naofumi there.
I
Um,
mean, they've been like talking about Siltveld ever since season one, but we haven't even seen it
yeah,
like just literally up until like right now. So it is good that we're finally getting to see this country for the very first time. Like, of course, obviously it is a country full of demi-humans, and and you can clearly see that you know that the stories about them worshiping the shield hero is of course of course true. But of course, now Fumi himself, he doesn't really care about all that much. He wants is to settle, you know, pretty much like settle some issues that he
well,
has, within his own borders, his own towns, and of
yeah.
course wanting to.
He's trying to solve this situation like as quickly as possible because the Phoenix is just kind of hanging over his head. Like, he doesn't have much time to really even prepare for that. And then the people of Siltveld, uh, Sedina even says like they could potentially even keep them there for months.
Yeah,
And now Fumi is like, I just don't have that kind of time. Um, so yeah, I'm guessing there, like I said, that there's probably some. It seems like there's some, like, aside from like the assassins and all that, like it seems like there's maybe some kind of there's something more going on within Siltveld. I mean, obviously they have their own issues, and I think that's probably what's going to end up happening with this season is that there's going to be like some kind of aside from, well, I'm guessing maybe them going after Raftalia is going to factor into all of it, but there's obviously like some kind of like turmoil happening in Siltveld that Naofumi's going to whether he wants to or not, like, get involved with or something. I feel like that's where it's going. But over, like, honestly, like, this whole thing just kind of almost feels like it's a side quest in a video game because we have the main issue with the Phoenix, and that's just kind of hanging over everyone's head, but now Fumi has to deal with this issue first, with what's happening in Siltveld and with Raftalia, before he can worry about any of that. And I'm just kind of hoping that the whole thing with the Phoenix it ends up being worth it and actually interesting because they did do this before in season 2 with the turtle. And I just hope it's executed a little bit better than that. Because I feel like it's just kind of a repeat of that, honestly, with the Phoenix.
yeah. The whole like spirit tortoise thing, it kind of got thrown in there like out of nowhere. Well, unlike in comparison for this like this Phoenix, they're really building this up to like like as some gigantic threat in comparison to like the spirit tortoise was. So I'm just hoping like I mean I haven't read this far into the light novels, so I'm just hoping that it's it'll be handled a lot like more efficiently than it did with the spirit tortoise because I remember reading the light novel version of the spirit tortoise is a lot better in the light novels than it was when it was adapted in the anime season 2. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
Well, I mean, that could probably be said for a lot of the I guess, light novel adaptations.
yeah. But yeah, it's I am curious to see where it is gonna go from here. I mean, honestly, like Shield Hero has gotten into like a bumpy road ever since season 2 started. Kind of did like recover
Yeah.
just a little bit with season 3 with them bringing back the other heroes and giving them some kind of redemption arc in some ways, which is it's
I feel like
it's kind of a
I feel like the main issue with the series is it needs more focus. Like, they need to figure out where the plot is going, and it needs to. It also just like needs to slow down. So, season 2, like it was just really rushed. They tried to cover like 2 story arcs in one season, which was only like 12 to 13 episodes long. And then season 3, it was a little bit more focused than season 2. Like, it just was. I think that mainly like one particular arc, as opposed to like 2 story arcs, and they were trying to do in like one season. But hopefully that might be the case with this season. Is that maybe the whole thing's just the Silfeld arc, and I'd be fine with that because that way it wouldn't feel like it's just like incredibly rushed. But I mean, so far with this first episode, like I said, it felt really slow. And I mean that can also be its own problem, is if it's like too slow paced. Like, But I mean, as long as it's going somewhere, because like episode 1 didn't really have one particular thing I felt like that really like hooked you. It was more so just following up on what happened after at the end of season 3, and sort of just like, introduced you to the new setting and the demi-humans, and like kind of implying what's going on with their own in their own society. And but I mean, maybe we'll learn more about that
Yeah.
in the next episode.
There's another thing that that I'm guessing that'll be brought up is the Tiger Children, which is I think it was Atla and Full.
Oh yeah, yeah. So apparently, I guess it seems like there's some kind of, for whatever reason, there's some kind of discrimination against the white tiger demi-humans within their society. Like they had like they had some disapproval, I guess, of the white tiger children.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that's about. Maybe they'll go into that too.
Yeah. And of course, if we remember back in season 3, that they have some kind of relationship with the former disgraced king, who according to
Oh right, yeah.
So like, of course, yeah. Well, based on the opening, would it showed some scenes, and like we will get to see more of the Tiger Kids, but it seems like we also get to learn more about Aldcray, who's like I said, he's the former disgraced king from season 1, who had his power pretty much being stripped from him after being alongside like mine like alongside with her crimes and stuff. But it seems like they're gonna give him some kind of redemption story arc for this season. I don't know like how that's gonna play out, but it more or less has something to do with like the 2 Tiger Kids.
Yeah, and obviously it does seem like, if again, like you said, if the opening is anything to go by, that mine, I guess, is up to her shenanigans again, and she's just being evil again. Like that's her whole character, is just she's just irredeemably evil, and just like goes around and tries to like is basically doing anything to sort of get back at Naofumi.
I mean, she did play a role of what happened to the remaining remaining heroes, but it seems like her role like last season kind of got a little bit shafted a bit in comparison. She made no appearance back in season 2. Like season 3, like she only made like sporadic appearances, but like they didn't really come back to her. Like she didn't really face any consequences for her actions in comparison to what happened back in season 1. Season 1, if we remember, like season 1 is the longest season of of the series, considering that it is like 2 cores worth of material. Like it's just these 3 seasons, for whatever reason, they're just like one core seasons. So I don't know like how, and I don't even know how it's gonna play out in, for this season. But it seems like the main focus of the season is being set in like in the demi-human region.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out. But I don't have anything else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about
it. I mean, I'm still like still middle of the road in expectations right now, and how this season is going to play out. But it seems like they are that this story is going to be mainly set in the demi-human region, and mainly they have to figure out how to, I guess, conclude like Raphtalia's storyline, the Tiger Children, and potentially like fit in like the former King Aldcray into the storyline. So I mean, I'll have to see where it goes, but from what I can tell, I don't know if they're gonna ever get to the Phoenix thing for this season, because it doesn't look like they're gonna get to that as of yet, from what I can tell.
Yeah, like I said, my hope is they just kind of take their time with the story and don't try to rush anything. But yeah, so far it's going at a fairly slow pace. I mean, it could potentially pick up. But like I said, it all that matters is they don't try to like rush through the story arcs and like gloss over a lot of things. Because that was the main issue with season 2. Season 3 tried to sort of fix it. And then season 4 is like, yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to handle it from here on. Like, considering, season 3 was mostly like sort of trying to fix some things from season 2. But I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, that all being said, until next time, we'll see you all later.